Hi everybody and welcome back to This Week in Magic Online Finance. I'm your host Chaz Andres, and let's get started with the news. This week, of course, the biggest story is the full reveal of the Masters 25 spoiler, and it's a pretty cool set. It's got Jace the Mind Sculptor, and Chalice of the Void, and Ensnaring Bridge, and Rashad Import, and Achroma, and the other Achroma, and Tree of Redemption. Okay, maybe it's kind of a mixed bag. So these Master sets usually have a lower EV online than they do in paper Magic, and this is doubly true for Masters 25. Consider some of these chase cards. Rashad Import, just about 30 tickets on Magic Online because of the promo copy, and Imperial Recruiter, one of the chase cards in paper Magic, just 4 tickets thanks to Masters Edition 2. Drafting this set online, opening packs, is kind of a great way to light your money on fire when it comes to Magic Online. And you're going to be really lucky just to recoup that investment. You're going to have to open some really nice packs or some great foils. Here's the thing though, people are going to draft this set anyway. Partially because it does seem to be a really cool limited format, and partially because people are really bad at math. And as a result, a bunch of key cards in Legacy, Modern, even Pauper are going to lose value over the next couple of weeks. So let's take a look at some of the cards that have lost the most value thanks to being reprinted in Masters 25. In Modern, we're looking at cards like Eidolon of the Great Revel, Vendilion Click, Blood Moon, Rest in Peace, Ensnaring Bridge, of course Chalice of the Void, and Courser of Crewfix. In Legacy, Rashad Import was the most affected. In Pauper, we're looking at Ash Barons, a major one, Hydroblast, and Nettle Sentinel. Now, all of these cards lost at least 2 tickets in value this week, some of them up to 7 or 8, like Eidolon of the Great Revel, but all of the cards in Masters 25 have lost at least a little bit of value since that preview season began. Now, unlike in paper Magic, where it makes sense to wait 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks after a Master set is released before you start even thinking about buying in Magic Online, a lot of these cards actually bottom out just 2 or 3 days after they've been previewed. What that means is you can actually start thinking about buying in now, especially the major Modern staples, things like Eidolon of the Great Revel and Chalice of the Void that have a ton of demand. They're pretty close to their reprint price floors already. So here are my 3 tips for you. If you want a card in Masters 25 that's going to be in a ton of demand, think about buying in now. If you want a card in Masters 25 that's a little more obscure, maybe it was only expensive because it's been printed once, like Azusa Lost But Seeking, wait a couple of weeks. And if you want to buy packs and draft the set, just don't. Or just do it once, or realize that you're not going to make your money back. Sometimes it's okay to just have fun. Let's move on to gaining ground. Where in Standard, Carnage Tyrant gained the most ground this week, jumping 5 tickets from 12 up to 17. And this is likely because Green-Red Monsters won Grand Prix Memphis, and Carnage Tyrant is a really important sideboard mythic in that strategy. Here's the thing though, while Green-Red Monsters is undoubtedly a good deck, is it one of the best 2 or 3 decks in the metagame? I don't think it is right now. And I'm not really sure where else Carnage Tyrant fits. I definitely don't see where it's going to end up being a 4 of, at least not in Standard's top tier. So while I'm bullish on this card in the short term, it's probably going to go up above 20 before it starts to come back down again. Will it be 20 tickets a month from now? Will it be anywhere near that? Well, a lot would have to go right for that to be true. I'm bearish on the card, at least in the medium term. Let's move on to Modern, where Mox Opal gained the most value this week, jumping 8 tickets from 49 up to 57. It's probably going above 60 again, which makes sense because it was not reprinted in Masters 25. And Mox Opal was actually joined by a bunch of Modern cards that spiked this week once we realized that they would not be reprinted, at least in the first half of 2018. Cards like Fulminator Mage, Celestial Colonnade, Scape Shift, and Jund staples like Tarmogoyf, Verdant Catacombs, and Liliana the Last Hope. Now, all of those cards gained at least 3 tickets this week, and most of the other cards in Modern gained at least 1. We're still in a major market boom for Modern on MTGO. That's what people are buying right now. It's probably going to continue, if not through the spring, then at least through the Masters 25 release. Let's move on to our biggest loser, where in Standard, it was yet again Hazoret the Fervent, dropping 4 more tickets from 16 all the way down to 12. But I do not think this trend will continue. There are 2 things leading to this Hazoret price drop, and both of them are a little bit bogus. The first is a reaction to the paper price dropping, which is mostly because of the release of the Challenger decks, a product that will not be on MTGO, so the card should not be dropping for that reason. The second is that Mono Red didn't make the top 8 at Grand Prix Memphis, but that doesn't speak to this deck's place in the metagame. It's still the clear best deck in the format. 2 players just lost their win-ins to that top 8, or Hazoret might not be dropping at all. So this card is an absolute buy for me at 12 tickets right now. Moving on to Modern, where the biggest losers were all cards I covered earlier in the intro. They all dropped in price because they were being reprinted in Masters 25. So let me take a moment here to talk about the card that dropped in value the most this week that wasn't in Masters 25. And it was Collective Brutality, which dropped 4 tickets from 34 down to 30. And this isn't indicative of a bigger trend. Really, it's just the card leveling out after major fluctuations following its stellar performance at the Pro Tour and speculation around the unbannings. It's now really settled in this 30 ticket price mark, and that's where I think it'll remain for the foreseeable future. Now, I've got a popper card for you today on Sneak of the Week. It's Flaring Pain, a burn spell from Judgment that sees play in Pauper Elves, in Pauper Bogles, in Burn, and Izzet Blitz. And like most cards in Pauper, this one was really cheap back in September and October of last year. It's up to 3 tickets now and continuing to rise, especially because it's not going to be reprinted anytime soon. And I really think this one's going to end up back over probably the 6 or 7 ticket mark. You should really be investing in some of these Pauper cards now. The format is still coming into its own. Now, as always, let's end the week by taking a look at the MTGO Traders sales data over the past 7 days. And this gives us a great window into which cards are selling the most on Magic Online right now. Regardless of prices, which cards are the most popular at the moment. Now, in terms of overall sales, we don't really have any changes to our list from last week. Lightning Bolt, Fatal Push, Field of Ruin, Opt, and Bloodbraid Elf still the best-selling cards. In terms of rares, though, we do have a couple of changes. Shadelight Ranger, back up near the top of that list, is the best-selling rare of the week by volume. Also, Thoughtseize making a strong push, and it's very possible that that card's price will start to rise again before long. Now, in terms of overall value sold, it's still Jace and Liliana and Tarmogoyf up at the very top of that list, and Rekindling Phoenix is also doing well. Most of the other standard cards have fallen off a bit though, including Chandra Torch of Defiance and Scarab God, which have fallen well out of that top 5. It's possible we're going to start to see those prices start to come down significantly over the next couple of weeks. Taking their place, we have cards like Noble Hierarch and Force of Will, so it's clear that at least in terms of Magic Online, Eternal Magic is where you want to be at the moment. That's all I got for you this week. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, especially because next Monday, I'm going to have a special report for you all about MTG Arena and how it might affect the future value of your MTGO collection. So tune back in for that one, and I'll see you next time.